They roared across America's backyards, they wrestled unruly lawns into submission, and then, just like that, they vanished. Today, we're stepping into a time machine to spotlight 10 iconic 1980s garden tractors that faded into history. Stay tuned as we revisit the features, stories, and legacies that made these classic workhorses simply unforgettable. Number 10. Sears Craftsman GT18. During the 1980s, Sears cemented its presence in American homes with countless household products, and its Craftsman garden tractors were no exception. The GT18, a mid-80s powerhouse, reflected that quintessential Craftsman reliability combined with robust design. Typically equipped with an 18-horsepower twin-cylinder engine, often sourced from Briggs and Stratton, this machine delivered enough torque to tackle demanding tasks like tilling, plowing, and hauling. Its cast-iron front axle and steel frame construction underscored a commitment to durability rather than flashy marketing. Beyond performance, the GT18 endeared itself to suburban families who wanted a dependable tractor that got the job done without fuss. Craftsman's consistency in part availability was a major selling point, reducing downtime to a minimum. For many, the GT18 symbolized a step up from smaller lawnmowers. Now, you could maintain acreage, tow attachments, and prep the yard for spring planting, all while riding in relative comfort. Another noteworthy aspect was Sears' broad distribution network. You could stroll into local Sears stores, test drive a GT18, and then pick up spare blades or an oil filter on the same trip. In an era before massive home improvement chains dominated, that accessibility mattered. Folks also found comfort in Sears' formidable reputation for warranties and customer service. Yet, as new competitors entered the garden tractor scene with advanced features and sleeker designs, the GT18 eventually faded from mainstream catalogs. Sears itself pivoted strategies in later decades, leading many of these rugged machines to slip into collector territory. Today, a well-maintained Craftsman GT18 might evoke nostalgia for simpler times, when weekend yard chores involved a sturdy, reliable companion that refused to quit. Number 9. Simplicity 7117. Introduced around 1980, Simplicity's 7000 series built on the brand's long-standing heritage for delivering solid performance in compact yet tough machines. The 7117 was a headliner in this family, boasting a 17-horsepower Briggs & Stratton twin-cylinder engine. With a hydrostatic transmission for smooth control and Simplicity's signature free-floating mower deck design, it offered a top-tier cut quality that appealed to meticulous homeowners. The 7117 was no mere lawnmower. It handled heavier tasks too. Equipped with belt-driven implements and optional accessories, it took on snow, dirt, and debris with surprising ease. A comfortable high-back seat plus intuitive controls made extended yard sessions more enjoyable, which was a welcome perk for rural property owners. The brand's hallmark was its simplicity of maintenance. Routine tasks like belt changes or oil checks were straightforward, a significant advantage for the do-it-yourself crowd. While Simplicity often played second fiddle to more widely advertised brands, it was no underdog in terms of engineering. Model 7117 exemplified the company's devotion to innovation without sacrificing user-friendliness. Beneath the unassuming exterior was a resilient machine with a steel frame that shrugged off years of wear. It quietly developed a loyal following among small farm owners and large suburban homeowners alike. However, as the 1990s rolled in, newer technologies and changing consumer tastes overshadowed older models like the 7117. Simplicity modernized its lineup, and, in time, many earlier tractors disappeared into sheds or landed on secondhand markets. Despite fading from mainstream view, the 7117 remains a cherished emblem of 1980s design done right. If you happen to spot one at a swap meet or rummage sale, you're looking at a piece of American craftsmanship that bridged the gap between small mower and versatile workhorse. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. Number 8. Gravely 8000 Series. Gravely had already earned a formidable reputation for rugged walk-behind tractors before stepping into the 1980s with its 8000 Series garden tractors. Built for serious tasks, these machines could be found on estates, small farms, and well-to-do suburban lots where owners demanded more muscle than a typical lawn tractor could provide. Often powered by robust Kohler or Onan engines in the 12 to 18 horsepower range, the 8000 Series featured heavy-gauge steel frames, cast-iron front axles, and hydraulic lift systems capable of supporting multiple attachments. Though slightly on the heavier side, that added bulk translated to stability on uneven terrain and dependable traction in challenging conditions. The 8000 Series was designed with a gear or hydrostatic transmission, ensuring operators could fine-tune speed to suit mowing, hauling, or even grading tasks. A hallmark of Gravely's design was its direct shaft-driven attachment system, which reduced the belt slippage often seen in lighter garden tractors. This meant consistent power delivery for front-mounted implements like snowblowers or brushes. Culturally, the 8000 Series resonated with a niche community of tractor enthusiasts who appreciated Gravely's professional-grade ethos. While it wasn't always the cheapest option, owners took pride in using the same brand trusted by municipal crews and commercial landscapers. This blend of commercial DNA and consumer-friendly features made the 8000 Series somewhat of a legend among brand loyalists. However, the premium build and higher price point gradually narrowed its consumer base. Competition from mass-market brands with flashy marketing overshadowed Gravely's traditional approach. As the company shifted its focus toward more specialized commercial products, the 8000 Series quietly receded from residential brochures. Now, finding one in working condition can be a treat, especially if you have memories of tackling daunting yard projects with a tractor that seemed like it could power through a brick wall. Number 7. Aryens GT18. Aryens earned widespread acclaim for its snowblowers, but the brand's foray into hefty garden tractors during the 1980s was equally noteworthy. The GT18 emerged as a reliable mid-range workhorse, fitted with an 18-horsepower Kohler twin-cylinder engine, usually the Magnum series that emphasized durability and smooth operation. Weighing in at several hundred pounds, this tractor was no flimsy yard toy. It could plow, till, mow, and clear snow without breaking a sweat. One standout feature of the GT18 was its heavy-duty frame design. Aryens built these machines with welded steel capable of handling ground-engaging implements, a factor that appealed to small-scale hobby farmers and owners of larger properties. The hydrostatic transmission offered easy maneuvering, letting you fine-tune your speed for jobs like precise garden tilling or careful snow clearing near delicate landscapes. For those in colder climates, Aryens' heritage in winter machinery shone through. The company produced some of the best integrated snow attachments on the market. Owners appreciated the GT18 for its approachable maintenance. Accessing the engine components and routine service points was fairly straightforward, aligning well with Aryens' philosophy of creating user-friendly yet robust equipment. That user satisfaction cultivated brand loyalty, prompting many to add an Aryens snowblower alongside their GT tractor. Over time, though, the rise of more compact, budget-friendly garden tractors and zero-turn mowers changed consumer habits. Aryens itself underwent product line revamps, focusing on categories with more market share. The GT18 slowly slipped off sales floors, relinquishing center stage to newer designs. Yet, among veteran yard enthusiasts, the GT18 stands as a quintessential 1980s machine that could roll up its sleeves and handle almost anything. Spot one still running, and you'll see the payoff of Aryens' robust engineering, a testament to a bygone era when extra steel and top-tier engines were the norm. Number 6. Bolans HT23. Bolans was already a seasoned name in outdoor power equipment by the time it unveiled the HT series. Among these large frame tractors, the HT23 reigned supreme throughout the 1980s. Its 23 horsepower twin-cylinder Kohler engine delivered an impressive punch. Perfect for property owners who needed more than just a mowing machine. Featuring a robust shaft-driven system and a hydraulic lift, the HT23 effortlessly handled tillers, snowblowers, and front-end loaders. In many respects, it blurred the line between a garden tractor and a small farm tractor. A hallmark of Bolans' design philosophy was heavy steel construction, and the HT23 was no exception. This tractor weighed in at nearly 900 pounds, making it incredibly stable on slopes and difficult terrain. The optional attachments were similarly durable, reflecting Bolans' desire to provide a comprehensive lineup for year-round yard maintenance. Whether you were clearing snow in January or cultivating soil in April, the HT23 was built to keep pace. Culturally, the HT23 gained a fervent following among hobby farmers and gardening enthusiasts who took pride in equipment that could stand the test of time. Bolans, headquartered in Wisconsin, was often touted for its American-made craftsmanship and pragmatic engineering. In an era when many brands were moving to lighter, more cost-effective designs, Bolans stayed the course with substantial build quality. The downside to such heavy-duty construction was cost. As competition intensified and consumer preferences shifted toward more affordable, lighter models, the HT23 lost some mainstream appeal. Bolans itself experienced ownership changes and rebranding over the years, leaving models like the HT23 overshadowed. Yet, for collectors and longtime fans, the HT23 remains an icon of 1980s garden tractor engineering, an emblem of a time when a rock-solid, all-purpose work machine could still dominate the suburban and rural landscapes. Number 5. Case 446. J.I. Case built its reputation on full-size agricultural equipment, so it was only natural for the company to bring that expertise into the garden tractor realm. The 400 series, including the 446, was a standout in the early to mid-1980s. A 16-horsepower Onan engine typically powered this beast, and while that might sound modest by today's standards, it was plenty capable at the time. What truly set the Case 446 apart was its hydraulic drive system, an innovation that delivered both forward movement and the ability to operate implements under full hydraulic power. The hydraulic setup gave the 446 a distinctive advantage when it came to attachments like rototillers, snowblowers, and front-mounted sweepers. Instead of relying purely on belts and pulleys, a strong hydraulic pump transferred power directly to the wheels and implements. This design proved remarkably reliable and straightforward to maintain, partly explaining why so many 446 units still function decades later. Like many of its competitors in the 1980s, the Case 446 came with a solid steel frame and cast-iron front axle. Weighing in at over 700 pounds, it could handle ground-engaging tasks with ease. From plowing a vegetable plot to towing a loaded cart, it lived up to Case's long-standing promise of durability. Owners often reported that the tractor could muscle through almost any job while purring like a well-tuned machine. However, as more consumer-focused brands flooded the market with simpler, less expensive models, the 446 and its siblings gradually lost their mainstream hold. Case went through brand transitions, eventually operating under Ingersoll for a while, and the 446 quietly slipped from store displays. Still, for anyone who craves the synergy of robust hardware and hydraulic power in a garden tractor, the Case 446 remains a relic worth cherishing, a snapshot of an era where ingenuity and heft were king. Number 4. Ford LGT16D. It's tough to beat the name recognition of Ford in the world of machinery, and the LGT16D carried that badge proudly in the 1980s. Derived from a partnership with Shibara in Japan, this model showcased a 16-horsepower diesel engine, a relatively rare feature among garden tractors of the era. The diesel powertrain delivered a torque-rich performance, making it especially adept at hauling heavy loads and managing challenging attachments. The LGT16D's design included a sturdy chassis, reinforced by Ford's agricultural know-how. A hydrostatic transmission made operation smooth, with forward-reverse maneuvering as simple as pressing a pedal. For folks managing multi-acre properties or frequently dealing with tasks like snow removal, this tractor's diesel reliability was a major draw. Fuel economy also outperformed many gasoline counterparts, a welcome bonus during a time when fuel costs sometimes raised an eyebrow. Despite Ford's strong brand image, the LGT series was never a massive volume seller, partly due to pricing. Diesel engines inherently boosted production costs, and many American homeowners were less familiar with small diesel-powered equipment. Yet those who took the plunge found a machine that offered commercial-grade longevity in a consumer-friendly package. The 16D could run for countless hours without losing steam, a trait that appealed to yard warriors and hobby farmers alike. Over the years, Ford lawn and garden tractors underwent rebranding and shifts in manufacturing agreements. By the 1990s, new lines from various partnerships overshadowed older models. The LGT16D, with its distinctive diesel clatter, slipped into enthusiast circles. Today, collectors who appreciate unique garden tractors often find themselves enamored by this Ford-Shibara collaboration. If you spot one rumbling along at a tractor show or small-town parade, you'll witness a sturdy survivor of an era when Ford briefly staked a claim in the premium garden tractor market. Number 3, Wheelhorse 520H. Few names spark nostalgia among lawn equipment buffs quite like Wheelhorse. After Toro acquired the company in 1986, Wheelhorse continued producing tried-and-true machines, culminating in models like the 520H. Launched in 1988, it packed a 20-horsepower Onan engine under a bright red hood, an iconic color scheme that turned heads in many a suburban driveway. The hydrostatic drive made for simple, responsive control, whether you were inching around flower beds or speeding across wide-open lawns. Wheelhorse fans prized the 520H for its heavy-duty steel construction, including a solid frame and cast-iron front axle. The robust design didn't just soak up bumps, it also supported a range of attachments, from snowplows to tillers. One clever touch was the front quick-attach system, allowing owners to switch implements with minimal fuss. For a time, this set a new bar for convenience in the garden tractor space. Equally significant was Wheelhorse's reputation for dependability. The brand had cultivated a loyal community since the 1950s, and the 520H only strengthened that bond. Mechanics appreciated the easy-access layout, making routine maintenance or engine repairs relatively painless. Operators, meanwhile, enjoyed a comfortable seat, ergonomic controls, and the sense they were using a machine with both brawn and finesse. However, by the early 1990s, competition from lighter, more cost-effective tractors and zero-turn mowers was fierce. Toro's gradual phase-out of the Wheelhorse name meant the 520H era was short-lived. Today, spotting a 520H at a local tractor show or rummaging in the classifieds can feel like uncovering a hidden gem. While some might consider it large for a simple yard job, those who know its lineage understand its place in history. A proud statement of what Wheelhorse once offered to enthusiasts seeking unwavering power wrapped in classic red steel. Number 2, Cub Cadet 782. Cub Cadet, originally an International Harvester offshoot, was synonymous with quality lawn and garden tractors for decades. When the 82 series debuted at the tail end of the 1970s, it included the 782, a model that made waves throughout the 1980s. Powered by a 17-horsepower Kohler KT17 twin-cylinder engine, the 782 blended enough muscle for garden tasks with a sleek, modern exterior that stood out against older Cub Cadet designs. Some fans fondly remember it as one of the first red Cub Cadets, a nod to its International Harvester roots before manufacturing transitioned to MTD around 1981. Mechanically, the 782 featured a shaft-driven transmission and a cast-iron rear end, hallmarks of durability. Owners could opt for attachments like a 44 or 50-inch mower deck, snow throwers, and tillers. The hydrostatic drive allowed variable speed control, making tasks like tilling or snow blowing more precise. A fully welded steel frame and a hefty overall weight provided stability on hills, a constant concern for rural homeowners. Culturally, the 782 occupied a sweet spot in the Cub Cadet lineage. It was advanced enough to appeal to customers wanting modern features, yet it retained the rugged construction that had made the brand famous. People who grew up in farm country often saw these machines tackling everything from mowing farmland perimeters to plowing driveways after winter storms. Over time, MTD's evolving product lines and changing consumer demands led to the 782's eventual phase-out. Despite its popularity in the 80s, it gradually disappeared from dealer showrooms, replaced by models sporting different styling and updated engines. Nonetheless, the 782 remains a favorite for enthusiasts who admire that classic blend of IH heritage, dependable Kohler power, and old-school reliability. Spot one cruising around your neighborhood, and you'll witness a living memory of American manufacturing at its peak. Number 1. John Deere 318. When talking about 1980s garden tractors, the John Deere 318 often emerges as the undisputed king. Introduced in 1983, it quickly set a standard that other brands aspired to match. Power came from an 18-horsepower Onan twin-cylinder engine, usually the B43E or later P218G. Coupled with a smooth hydrostatic transmission and power steering, a rarity in garden tractors of its day, the 318 offered an almost luxurious experience in what had traditionally been a utilitarian segment. The real magic lay in its versatility. The 318 featured front, mid, and rear attachment capabilities, which meant you could hook up snow blowers, mower decks, tillers, and even specialized implements with relative ease. A cast-iron front axle, welded steel frame, and robust transaxle underscored John Deere's focus on longevity. Despite weighing in at over 700 pounds, the tractor felt nimble thanks to power steering and a well-engineered weight distribution. Beyond the mechanics, the 318 epitomized John Deere's brand promise, a fusion of reliability, performance, and user-friendly design. Its signature green and yellow color scheme became a backyard status symbol, signaling you'd invested in something built to last. Homeowners and small acreage farmers alike reveled in the confidence that their 318 could handle serious ground-engaging tasks and then meticulously manicure the lawn for Sunday afternoon barbecues. Over nearly a decade of production, the 318 enjoyed multiple upgrades and improvements, reinforcing its legendary status. Even after Deere introduced newer models, the 318's loyal following never wavered. Today, enthusiasts scour classified ads and online auctions for well-preserved units. If you grew up in the 80s, chances are you either owned a 318, knew someone who did, or saw its iconic silhouette chugging along at the local county fair. It stands as a shining example of American engineering, one that has yet to fully fade from memory. Jokes aside, these forgotten champions still make our hearts race. Hope you found this trip down memory lane as thrilling as unboxing a brand new tractor back in the day. If you owned any of these, or maybe just admired them from across the fence, you know they were more than machines. They were part of our lifestyles. Whether you're a dedicated collector or just rekindling old memories, keep that nostalgia alive. And before you check out your local classifieds for a gem, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got more gearhead stories on the way.